Hi, we're Ariel.
And Michelle, and we're
we're
the
the
Board Game Tutors. Today we're doing our advanced concepts video about the locations in the board game Abyss, and you can see our previous videos to see how you acquire locations. Today we're going to be going over the specific text of all the different locations so that you can see what your options are.
All right, let's go ahead and get started. So the first location here is the depths. And if we read the text with me, X equals the number of influence points of your weakest lord times 2. So as you can see up here, let's just pretend all these lords up here were your hand of lords in your player area. If you look closely, you could see a 12, a 5, a 5, a 9, a 5, and a 6. So since you have 3 5s, those are the lowest number. You would take that number, 5 influence points, double it, because it's times 2. So you take 5 times 2, which is 10. So this location would give you 10 extra victory points, influence points, at the end of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty straightforward there. Next one is the throne room. The text reads, X equals the number of influence points of your strongest lord. So you look here among the different lords that you see in this example. Like we said, we have one lord over there, which is a 12. So this throne room would count for an extra 12 points. That's that. Next one, the Lost Tower. That reads 3 points for each of your lords without a key. So if you were looking at this area up here, the landowner does not have a key. This apprentice does not have a key. This assassin does not have a key. So in this example, you would get 3 times 3, which would be 9. Pretty straightforward again. All right, next one is the opposite, the Closed Tower. 3 for each of your lords with 1 or more keys. So you just do the inverse of that. The diplomat has a key, the hermit has 3 keys, and the slaver has 1 key. So all the lords that have keys will get you 3. So 3 lords times 3, which is 9 again in this example. Parliament. 2 points for each of your politician lords plus 6. So if you have multiple politician lords, this will give you more points. Currently, in this example, since it's just representative of all the different guilds, otherwise known as groups, of the lords, that means you only get 2 points for the diplomat. So you get 2 points plus 6, which is 8.
Okay.
Next one, the Hydrozoa reserves. 2 points for each of your mage lords plus 6. So this, exactly like in the previous example, would be 1 because you only have 1 mage lord, plus 6. So 2 for the 1 mage lord, plus 6, which would be 8 again.
Mm-hmm.
The dockworks. 2 for each of your merchant lords plus 5. So this is slightly fewer points. So you would look here, you have 1 merchant lord. Basically, these last few tiles, they reward having multiples of the same guild lords. So if you have multiple merchants, you have multiple diplomats, etc., they give you more points. So in this example, you would get 2 points for having 1 merchant lord, plus 5, which would give you 7 at the end of the game. Right here, the barracks. 2 for each of your soldier lords, plus 7 points. So this one's a little bit more beneficial for you because it gives you 7 points. In general, the soldier lords have fewer influence points, so the more soldier lords you have here, the better. So if you had 3 soldier lords, which we don't have in this example, but if you had 3, 3 times 2 is 6. 6 plus 7 is, not going to do that off the top of my
13.
head, 13. Thanks, Michelle. This game can make you feel kind of stupid when you're doing basic math and you can't think of it off the top of your head.
It can also help you practice math.
That too. So, teaching tool. All right. Next one is Sargasso Silos. 2 for each of your farmer lords plus 5. So the farmer lords, they normally give you a fair amount of points. So that compensates for it, obviously. So if you had 2 farmer lords, you would do 2 times 2, which is 4, plus 5, which is 9. Right? Next one, the Oceanic State Assembly. 3 points for each of your affiliated allies from the squid race. So we've gotten an example ready here. So if you'll look at our previous videos, you'll remember you can get affiliated allies. These are the ones that are specifically attached to you that you can no longer use anymore, except for endgame scoring. And you get one affiliated ally for each lord that you recruit. So if you look at your hand here, let's just say this was our hand. This might be a beneficial tile for us to grab when we get enough keys to get this location, because as you can see, we have one crustacean ally, affiliated ally, two squid affiliated allies, and one crab affiliated ally. So as you can tell here, in this particular example, we have two squid, so you would do 3 times 2, which is 6, plus 4, which would be 10. So that would give you another 10 points at the end of the game, which would be pretty good.
So that was Oceanic Senate Assembly.
Oh, did I say state?
Yeah, I thought it said state too.
Oh, well, that was my mistake. Sorry about that. Looks like a Senate. All right, next card, tile. The Nest of Giant Clams. 3 for each of your affiliated allies from the shellfish race, otherwise known as crustaceans, plus 3 as well. So if you would look at our sample hand here, I have one crustacean, aka shellfish, ally, affiliated ally. So in this particular instance, since I only have one of those cards, I would get 3 points plus 3, which would be 6. So not the best use of points, but if you're trying to get a few more points in there to get the highest point total at the end of the game, not a bad idea. Next one, the Chasm. 3 for each of your affiliated allies from the crab race, plus 5. So, as we can look in here in this example, I have one crab, so that would be 3 points, and then plus 5 at the end of the sentence there, so that would be 8. The Sargasso Fields is the next one. 3 for each of your affiliated allies from the seahorse race, plus 3. So, you look here, I have no seahorse affiliated allies, so this would get me nothing, but because of that last little plus 3 at the end, this would still give me plus 3 at the end. So, let's say, for example, my opponent was collecting seahorse affiliated allies, I might purposefully take this tile so that way they would not benefit from it. It's not the best choice, but it is one possible strategy that you could use. So yeah, that would take place, and I'd only get 3 points for that since I have no seahorse allies. Next one, the Sanctuary. 3 points for each of your affiliated allies from the jellyfish race, plus 4. Once again, this would give me nothing, but because of the plus 4 at the end, I would get 4 points from this.
Mm-hmm.
Also, all the art on these locations is just, it's pretty beautiful in general. Yeah, the locations, they did an excellent job with them. This one is the beginning of slightly confusing locations, but we're going to go through them one by one. This is City of Mirrors. It copies the effect of an opponent's location at the end of the game. So let's say, for example, you did that, your opponent did that strategy where they knew that that location would be beneficial for you, so they took it from you so you could not benefit from it. But if you drew City of Mirrors and took this location, guess what? Now they can't stop you. You can copy the one that they wanted to deny you from having.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the City of Mirrors. The Abyss. 2 for each guild you have at least one lord from, to a maximum of 12 points. So it sounds a little confusing. It's not very confusing at all. So you look here, up here at our example. So obviously these are just stacks of all the different types of lords. So if this was my particular player area full of lords, you could tell I had one farmer lord, one politician lord, one ambassador lord, one mage lord, one merchant lord, and one soldier lord. In this example, I would have met the conditions of this tile completely, so I would have gotten 12 extra bonus points at the end of the game for influence. And let's say, for example, I only had 4. I'm covering these up so pretend they're not there. If I only had 4 lords from the different races, and let's say like I had 3 politician lords as well, then I would only get 4 times 2, which would be 8.
Yeah, meaning if you had 3 politicians and one other one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because so you get 2 points for each kind.
Yeah, you basically get 2 points for each kind of lord that you have. So
okay.
If you don't have merchant lords and you don't have soldier lords, you can't get the full 12.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The next one is the jail. This gives you 15 influence points minus the number of lords you have. So why would you want to do that? If you want to have as many lords as you possibly can at the end of the game. But let's say you're playing a 4-player match, and you can tell someone's on their 6th lord right now. They're going to get their 7th lord. You might want to grab this because let's say you only have 3 lords to your name. Well, then 15 minus 3 would be 12, which would be a fair amount of points to help you hopefully stay in the running in terms of points at the end of the game.
So it can help compensate for the fact that you may not have a lot of lords at that point.
Right. Over here, this is a similar location, the Coral Barrier. 20 influence points, so that's a pretty large amount, minus the number of affiliated allies you have. So that would be, in this example, obviously this doesn't match this because I would have 6 affiliated allies if I had 6 lords. So let's just say this is a separate example. Let's say I had 4 affiliated allies. This would be a useful location tile for me to have because I would just minus 4 from that 20 and I would still have 16 points. So it can give you a fair amount of points if you don't have that many affiliated allies. All right. Next location, the Black Smokers. You may immediately switch this location with a location of your choice from the deck. So it says may here, but I really don't know why anybody wouldn't switch a location with the deck that is currently there. So, and you also have to pay attention to the wording here, with a location of your choice from the deck. So any locations that are already visible and face up on the board, or the playing area of the Abyss board game board, all of those are no longer eligible for Black Smokers. You can only choose locations that are still hidden in the stack. And you can look through the stack, figure out the one that you want, and take that one. So you get the best point total at the end of the game, given that. And so what you would do is you would take this one, if you drew it, so you would take this location tile, and then you would swap places of this location tile with the tile that you drew from the deck, because you have to switch it. And the last location in this game is the Chamber of Allies. 3 plus the sum of your weakest affiliated ally from each race. So a little confusing, but let's use this example over here. So you look at the cards I have here. I have 3 different sea creature allies, and you have to find the weakest one from each one. So I only have a 2 crab, but that is the weakest one for crabs. I have a 2 squid, which is the weakest squid I have, and I have a 3 crustacean. And this 4 does not count for this purpose. So you have to find the weakest ones. So you would look here, take the sum of your weakest affiliated ally from each race. 3 plus 2 plus 2, which is 7. And then you would look back here at the beginning of the sentence, plus 3. So 7 plus 3 is 10. So this would give you 10 extra victory points in addition to the victory points that you count at the end of the game from your weakest affiliated allies. Right. So those were all the locations. If you guys have any questions, comments, clarifications, please leave us a message and let us know. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more content from us on a regular basis, which we will be providing on a regular basis, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And yeah, we hope to see you guys again soon.
All right. Thanks so much for watching.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.